Hi, and welcome to Amy Ascending or Amy Manifest Content Creator. Today I was recording an audio while driving to work about creation and the expansion and growth, growth of our talents and abilities. And what I was talking about, sorry, just let me set the clock for 10 minutes because this is one step in the process of how I work. But anyway, I was talking about not getting trapped in the optimization circle or in the perfection circle. Um, and what I mean by that is so often our ego goes to whatever limit it can to keep us within the zone of comfort. And this is something that I have recognized so well through the years. After I have made a decision to accomplish something, to finish something, just when I feel like I'm ready to release, the ego hinders me and tells me that I could do this better. And the thing is, of course you can. We can always do better. That's the essence of life. Either you grow or disintegrate, and we should always strive for growth. And we should always strive for better, but not perfection, because perfection is the opposite of growth. Because if something is perfect, it cannot expand. And signs of the ego tries to hold you within the circle of not growing is the voice in your head telling you that it's not good enough, and this is my most crucial block. You can do better because that's aligned with what I know is true. And that's the way with the ego. The ego does whatever and finds whatever suitable way to try to perceive us, to try whatever it can to make us obey. And one very good example of that is when I was releasing my first album 2 years ago. And that has been my dream since I were a child. I've always loved creating, and especially creating songs, lyrics, and music. And that was like my biggest wish, to release a whole album. So when I made a decision, a very important and crucial part in the manifestation process, of course, but once I made the decision that I will do this, I had whatever. That's another story. But I had decided on a couple of songs that those are the ones that I want to publish and release. But I wanted it to be an album, so I needed a couple of more songs, and I have like thousands and thousands of them, recorded here and there and so on. So I had to make a new decision, what more song where I'm going was I going to add to this album. Um, and then I set a release date, what I like to call a finish line. Um, I set a deadline, and I like to call deadlines finish line. A finish line to take off and expand to the next level, because I don't like negative words like deadline. But I actually postpone the finish line 2 times because my ego got to my head, got to my mind. And it was telling me that you can do better than this. This is not perfect. And it wasn't. But then I remember the bigger picture. What was my desired goal? And the desire was to release an album. Would I stop there? No, of course not. That was just one step to the next level. And I like to call it, or I did anyway, uh, the edge of the circles before expansion. When you recognize yourself looping around these circles, you are working with your dreams, you are moving into action, but you are not stretching further. That can be a sign that it's ready to take off to the next level. Because I do not think that anybody can get better or as great at any talent until we expand the circle of talents and ability. And for you to expand the circle, and for you, sorry, my kid, for you to expand the circle, you need to leave the one you're at behind. Or maybe not behind, but you need to expand through and widen that circle. And some tips for how to do that. First of all, you need to make a decision. That's very important. Decision making is crucial in a manifestation process. But I have some, like, not warnings, but something to look out for. This at least happens to me a lot. Is I receive so many inspired ideas from my spirit, creative ideas from my spirit, inspiration. And so the crucial step in decision making is to be mindful with your decisions, meaning differentiate wishful thinking with actual decision making. Because it's so easy to get inspired. Yeah, you see your neighbor do something incredible, make a body transformation or renovating their house, and you're like, yeah, I want that too. Yeah, I will do that. And the thing is with that is, if we don't make the decision through the present of our awareness, it will probably only staple on the list of doing, and when the list of things you want to do gets big enough, it will feel like an anchor instead of something that uplifts you. So, what I do instead is whenever I receive those creative ideas, I welcome them and I'm like, yeah, that was a good idea. And I will probably act on it. But for now, I will put it on my list of passion flow list. And when I do that, I can focusing on what do I want to work with now. And it doesn't have to be just one thing, but it gives you clarity and it gives you the focus you need to really get emotionally involved with your desired outcome and start to send out those high vibrational levels and starting to attract it. So that was decision making. And of course, as I also mentioned, to get emotionally involved with whatever you desire. And the thing is, I was talking to my colleague about this today. There are so many people that have those big dreams, and even the few of them who actually dares to go after them sometimes have too much of expectation. And I'm not saying that you should not expect your dream to manifest. You should accept it as yours, as already manifested. You are just creating the space to receive it. But for instance, if like me, I released my first album, and if I would have expect that album to be a huge success, uh, worldwide, it would be easy for me to give up after that. But rather, I see everything I do, everything, all my actions, everything that I create, I see them as getting involved, of course, with what I love, but also as just steps towards what I want. Because you never know when your success will arrive. You can have an idea, of course, if you're working with like logical goals, just goals, like the next natural goal. But when it comes to the big dreams, and that's where our spirit are guiding us, you don't know how long it will take, because time is just an illusion, of course. But the cure to time and the illusion of time is discipline, patience, and faith. Discipline, patience, and faith. Because discipline, I used to think that was a very boring word. I thought that discipline meant, whips and work harder, work faster. But discipline is actually about honoring what you truly want to do, to honor the vibration, the state that you want to operate within. Because even if you understand the law of attraction and how manifestation works, it doesn't happen if you don't apply it. You need to apply it. And thinking about your big dream once and feeling like, yeah, this is mine, this will happen, but the rest of the day and the rest of the time, you are back to normal. It's the dominant vibration that you send out that will dictate what you attract. That's why I encourage you to have a daily discipline when it comes to your manifestation process. Daily discipline. Spending your days, your life in alignment with what you desire. I mean, do I need to say more? It's fun work.